On my mark,
辛朵拉算是玩得很不错的。
Okay. Right.
Stream is running.
6:12 right now. 6:14. That should be on the same time.
I'm at 6:21.
6:21. Yeah, it's about the same. It's about the same. Good. Okay. Oh, he's full hot dog. I thought he was hot dog.
I guess he changed the name. All right, so let's begin. Hello, everybody that might be watching. Hopefully, there's only a few of you because we don't want to get in trouble. But this is the unofficial test cast of the LL Masters series with Clement of Obscurica. I'm Obscurica, he's Clement, and this is basically just a cast over the thoughts of the new Taiwanese circuit, the LL Masters series, the LMS. How are you doing, Clement?
Yeah, I'm doing fine. Thanks for having me here.
Excellent. Clement was the former NIP coach, and I'm just a rep for LL Esports. So right now, what we're going to be watching is the the first game of the season between Logitech Snipers and I believe it's Machi team now, right?
Yeah, it's called a Machi Crew.
Machi Crew.
Yeah.
Machi, for those of you that watched GPO in the previous season, was a new team in Taiwan. Machi Crew isn't that roster. I believe they recently picked up Team Hopeless.
I think Machi Crew is simply a name sponsor from Team Machi. Yeah, they don't actually run the team, just a name sponsor. Oh, so here we are in the band picks. Seeing Machi Crew here on the blue side, Logitech Snipers on purple. And let's see what the first band picks are.
So right away we see a Syndra band. I assume that's because Ysera does have a pretty decent handle of that champion.
Yeah, exactly. We've actually seen Syndra be quite a top priority in the LMS preseason right now. It's not true for any other of the major leagues right now, but it's something to look for in the LMS is that Syndra is definitely a high priority pick.
Is she particularly strong on 4.12, or is it just a preference for the Taiwanese teams?
I believe it's a preference, and she also has some good matchups, especially against LeBlanc, just because when LeBlanc's trying to distort to you, you can push her ball in a straight line, and you can stun where her distortion originally came from. So she has that good matchup there.
Does the ult follow through on LeBlanc when she goes back to her clones, or?
Yes, she does. Even if she goes into her mirror, she still takes the full damage. So you can burst her through her passive as well.
All right, I'm seeing from Sky that I am a little quiet. I believe that's because I have my mic settings messed up. Here we go. That should be better. Okay, so we see full three bands, the Corky and Jarvan band. Jarvan especially has been seeing a lot more picks lately on the latest patch.
Yeah.
What are the major concerns with that Machi's trying to prevent with the bands here?
We haven't seen that many games so far, but I'd say Jarvan and Corky are both just huge meta champions at this point. Jarvan, especially with the Pantheon nerfs in 4.21, he's probably the premier jungler right now. Corky as well, just strong all around. I don't think the 4.21 nerfs to his missile speed really hurt him that much. Still a really strong overall pick. Logitech Snipers here, Azir and Kennen. These are interesting bans because both of these champions are not that popular so far. Azir is a really hard champion to master. I'm not sure if Lee Min actually plays this champ. It could be a good indication that he does. And Kennen is also a rather oddball ban here. There has been a small buff to Kennen so far, but I don't really see him getting back in the meta just because of that.
We have, however, seen plenty of Janos, which CCB just picked for a ho hot dog right now.
Yeah.
So I'm guessing that's because they're predicting that the Lee Sin pick means that that Machi Crew wants a fight-heavy composition.
Lee Sin is just with Jarvan ban out, he's probably just the best jungler right now. He's great with the disengage comps, so you can run a lot of poke with him. Logitech's, yeah.
What's JK likely to pick then with the Jarvan Lee Sin pick already?
Let's see what other junglers there are here. I'd say in this patch, like the top three junglers are definitely Jarvan, Lee Sin, and Rek'Sai. Rek'Sai's open right now, so we might see him slip through in the last pick. That's quite possible.
We're also seeing a lot more Sonas these days. I'm guessing that's because her poke is actually pretty effective against disengaged champions like Janna.
Yeah, she does have that great lane against the two most popular supports right now. Janna, Thresh, both can't really rival Sona in lane, and especially matched with this Graves, this is a very, very dangerous lane. There's a lot of poke damage, there's a lot of burst, you have to play this lane really safe, but of course it's also really easy to gank, and that's always been Sona's weakness here.
We also, okay, so that's a Sivir matchup against the Graves and Sona. Now, I kind of don't think this is a particularly good pick, given that the spell shield doesn't exactly work on Graves' auto attacks. What do you think about this?
Well, it's really about, like, what you spell shield is really the important thing right here. If you can spell shield his ults, then that's great, but for the most part, like, the Sivir lane is really easy to abuse with Sona right here, so I'm really looking for Machi crew here to really punish the bot lane a little bit. Janna and Sivir right here, they don't really match up to Graves Sona. Sona is really much more of a, Sivir is actually much more of a utility ADC here. So the laning phase might not be as important, but it's definitely something to have to look out for. And of course, the Rek'Sai pick for JK.
Yes, Rek'Sai is a bit overpowered in my estimate right now.
Yes, he is.
She's really wrecking face everywhere in solo queue. Do you think that the Sivir and Janna matchups implies that the snipers are looking to go for like a 2-1 top lane then?
2-1 top lane. With the Kassadin, probably not. Just because the Kassadin is not a champion that does particularly well in 2v1 situation. But yes, he can farm from far, but still he's really easy to dive. If I was taking the Kassadin, against a Gnar, it's not that much easier, but we'll see how the top lane shapes up to be, and then we can talk more about that.
Yep. We do, however, see that Machi crew is in fact planning for the explosive all-in with the Fizz pick.
Oh, exactly.
So, yeah, that Janna was a really good pick for not just as snipers, because otherwise they're just going to have a hard time keeping Machi crew off of them. All right, so far, what do you know about this Machi crew team? They are relatively new. Mostly when people think about the Taiwanese team, they think about like Type A snipers, Type A assassins in the H.
Exactly. So far, not much actually. I haven't really paid that much attention to them. But this is definitely something I'm gonna work out more on.
Yeah. I think we have 9 weeks to learn as much as we can.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. And we're seeing a Renekton pick here. So the Kassadin's likely just a flex pick here. They wanted to see what the top lane matchup is going to be. And now that they're sure it's going to be a Gnar, which is a huge bully top lane, they're likely going to put the Renekton top lane. Yep, and Poha locked the Renekton in. We're going to see a top lane. So it's going to be a Renekton Gnar matchup in the top, and Kassadin versus Fizz in the middle.
How is that matchup? They're both pretty much assassin mids.
I'd give a slight edge to Kassadin. He has a much easier time trading, and just because of his passive, like the Void Stone passive, he gets like 15% reduction there, and he also gets a shield from his Q. So I'd give a slight edge to Kassadin in that matchup there. Also, Renekton Gnar, also a slight edge to Renekton. He's just always been this great lane bully early in the top lane.
Right, it's really hard to knock him off when he has to sustain every 10 seconds or so. Heals right back up, farms and pushes the lane. So annoying.
Yeah, I want to talk a little bit about Renekton pick. It's just we haven't seen him for a while, but he's really come back in the new preseason, especially in Korea. We've seen Duke pick him up. Really strong early teamfight pick. He's a lane bully. He can just push the lane. He's really easy to gank for. You get that stun, you get that kill, and you can instantly teleport bot lane. And your first big dragon fight, he's one of the best champions. He's got that innate HP, lots of magic damage from his ultimate. So he's really been making a comeback here.
Does that imply that the snipers might not want to have this game go late, though? Because Renekton traditionally hasn't been exactly a very strong late game presence. Yeah,
Renekton's going to get bully out late game, but the thing with the Sivir pick, Sivir I see as more of an early to mid type AD carry as well. She really falls off late game without her move speed. So they kind of have a little uneven power spikes, I'd say. The Caston is slightly more mid to late. And, oh, okay, so now we see the game coming up here. I'm predicting just normal lanes. Like, Logitech, they can live with the bad bot lane. They really want to punish with the Renekton here, I guess.
Yeah, we do see that it does look to be a 2v2 bot lane, so it'll be the 1v1 Nard versus Renekton top. How bad is the matchup for Nard? Because he's also been a lane bully in a lot of the more recent matchups.
It's actually fine. It's not horrible. Like, you have in your range form, like, you can get bullied out a little bit, but you can also harass that. And in your like rage form, you can just CC lock this stuff. CC lock.
We did see with the voting that the overall audience confidence is like 87% in favor of Logitech snipers. I feel kind of sorry for Machi for that.
That's to be expected, man. Like, Sniper has been a team that's been around for a long while. They had a chance to make Worlds in Season 3, but of course we know that the Wolves team upset them. And now they're under the Logitech banner. We'll see what they do. This
is actually the AHQ Fighter roster, if I recall.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, because there was a huge, between October and now, there was a huge, like everywhere else, there's been a lot of team transfers, player movements, so on and so forth. Unfortunately, a lot of the old snipers got absorbed by Hong Kong Esports, I believe.
Yeah, exactly. But, well, the Sniper name is still there, so...
It's still respected. And HQ Fighter wasn't too bad in their debut.
No, they weren't. They were actually I think they even took a few games off like the top teams.
They've only ever lost games to the Assassins, and in their groups they were otherwise second best. Yeah, it was
second best. Okay.
Oh, Ysera and Lee Mid are trading off, casting getting some early damage on that spell shield. As you said, it's right away. The damage coming off of this is largely negated by the spell shield coming out of Castan's Q.
Yeah, Caston does have a really large lead here. He can harass whenever that E is down, and I didn't really catch it. I think he took Q first, or
yeah, he did.
Okay.
It was definitely the Q poke.
Yeah, so it's just going to be a lot of harass from Caston's side, and we're seeing this bot lane now. Thresh doing a little poke. The interesting thing about Thresh is he actually hasn't picked a Thresh. You know, I thought he was going to be a Thresh main, but apparently not.
Yeah, that's blatant lies in advertising.
Exactly. So we see they're actually Logitech's bot lane isn't faring too bad here. Oh, they're level 2 and great spell shield and a Janos shield to negate all of that damage. They're still getting the lane push. We see Lee Sin putting a ward in the blue side, roaming around river. Might have wanted to go mid.
Punished.
Yeah.
Yeah, 50% off like a single trade.
Yeah, exactly. That was an interesting move there from Gnar. He actually looped around into the jungle to place a ward and try to spot out the Rek'Sai. He did see that the red was gone, so... Wait a minute, did Lee Sin actually get a blue steal here?
That's a good question. We weren't able to see it on the camera. That will not be our fault because we're not actually using producer. We're using the voice. Yeah, play that on Garita. Not our fault, guys.
Okay, so we see Renekton building quite a steady CS lead up here. He's already up 10. And bot lane crew is having definite advantages. They're pushing them all the way into turret.
So it's basically even out. Logitech snipers do have the advantage top lane, but...
Oh, Haju's getting a gank in here, lands the Sonic Wave, stun in, and Renekton just dices away.
Yep,
no trouble there.
Indeed. Yeah, other than that boarded gank, I think it looks to be a pretty passive early game.
Yeah, so far it does seem so. I wonder if this Rek'Sai is going to try to focus down.
Oh wait, we're getting another fight. Basically, Big Gnar slapping CCB around a little bit.
Yeah.
And it looks like J. Kane's setting up for oh no, he's just putting down tunnels in preparation for Dragon.
Yeah. We saw that CCP actually traded favorably in that trade up in the top lane, but he knew that Lee Sin was still there, so he backed out immediately.
Alright, it seems as if your audio's a little high, so I'll adjust the speaker levels.
Okay.
That'll be on my end. That'll be on my end.
Okay. Sure, I'm not going to tamper with it then.
Yeah, don't worry about it. Alright, now we're back.
Okay.
Okay, so last did get poked down again by a Thresh Melon in the Honey Ring, which is what we've been seeing for the last few minutes, given that the camera's been stuck on bottom lane so far.
Rek'Sai
is going in. Thresh Melon knocked up, takes the slow from a whole hot dog, and the teleport's coming in to force Machi Crew to back off. and no deaths.